The Last of Us, episode 6. Were you not waiting in your brain for the ball to drop about why this town was like, are they cannibals? Are they Are they murderers? Are they going to take everything that, our characters hold dear? Are they going to be separated?
Was Ellie going to be a sex slave?
Exactly. Like, is the ball going to drop? And, like, what is the terrible thing? The Walking Dead has conditioned us to think that even if it seems good on the surface, there's this nefarious undercurrent.
I'll be honest. This episode and that thought process, this show is starting to condition me to think different. I didn't. I truly thought that this was, like, a good town. And, like, well, we found Joel's brother. And I was
Finally found Tommy.
Well, that was quick. I didn't think about, like, the girl was like, oh, wait, your brother.
You're conditioned to think it's going to take the whole season. And you'll get maybe, like, an episode with them at the end.
There's literally one quick horse ride down the road that they had extra horses for them to drive to.
Yeah.
And the dog was a little bit sketchy.
I was
worried for Ellie.
Yeah.
A little bit. I knew Joel was going to get past. And as he was, too, he was scared for her, too.
To the extent of almost having a heart attack.
This episode, gave us a time jump. 3 months. That's a hefty chunk of time. So, which I loved, they cut down on that useless travel and that just explained to you that you, in this world where Walking Dead and shows similar to it, said everywhere you go, you're going to find zombies. Everywhere you go, they're there. Nope. This was a peaceful area. Yeah. There isn't, because in reality, we would all seek cities to huddle in, which they did. So, which means that these open country areas no one's there. Few and far between.
Except the animals.
Right.
They reclaimed Earth.
And I'm good with that because, you found these two, I'm going to say they're Native Americans because they kind of alluded to
they must be protected at all costs.
And
hilarious scene.
Oh my God.
I was
Ellie
laughing
is
out
a
loud.
riot. The man, hilarious. Like, they didn't care. The woman didn't even move, made him soup. Like, didn't care. I was like, okay, this is
That's a woman that
perfect.
doesn't care what happens. She's just living day to day, having the time of her life.
And he's like, oh, well, we moved here before you were born, and I didn't want to. I'm like...
Did you tell them where they are? Mm-hmm. Did you tell them the truth? Mm-hmm. Should I tell them the truth? Mm-hmm.
Right. And it was just a wholesome scene, because honestly, Joel and Ellie weren't going to kill him. We know that.
And they knew that too.
They would have.
Right.
They didn't wait for him to get back. And Ellie took the rabbits. I was like, didn't hurt them. They had more. They took 2. She didn't overtake. She didn't rob them. And it was like, her whole scene, I love her as a character. I love her as an actress. Everything
Bella
about
Ramsey does a
them,
great job as Ellie.
And
100%.
those as a combination, I feel this episode really struck the chord of Joel and Ellie's relationship, solidifying it, making it more relevant. I couldn't... the town. So then that bled me into the town. I'm like, okay, the dog didn't kill Ellie. They didn't shoot them. Okay, so what's going on? Because this is the River of Death. We're here. We're on the River of Death. And we're in the town. It's beautiful. It reminded me of like a Christmas town. I had Christmas trees and, a shop, a bar, a restaurant. First off, why would you ever leave? I wouldn't. It's been up and running for 7 years.
That's why Tommy didn't try to talk to Joel, find Joel, because they had a rule: once you're here, you don't talk to outside people. We are trying to keep this a very closed network of individuals here.
I'm in.
Our community is very tight knit. Exactly.
I'm hammering things.
Everyone owned everything.
It's communism.
You borrowed when you needed to borrow, and I thought in that small scale town they had, it was working perfectly.
Running water. Electricity.
Hot water.
Now. What can you ask for better?
In this environment, they almost, to me, it would, if I was living there, I would feel like coming out of COVID almost, where it was like, okay, we're getting our society back.
Yeah.
Except in there, that would, COVID compared to cordyceps.
Same thing.
Yeah. No.
We'll find
Give
out
me
in a couple
COVID
years.
every time.
But you got to think, like, so we were obviously, so you asked that question about, like, did you think, like, something was going to happen where the wall's going to get torn down by a massive
My brain
clickers.
was waiting.
Yeah, but, like, this was refreshing. This town. Now, granted, like, you saw the rate, like, the difference of how the children were raised, where Ellie was some, like, badass, like, gunslinger. Like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
Like, city living, country living. You're just brought up different. Like, in the QZ, you're raised for survival. You hate Fedra. You hate all these things. But out there, you have each other. You rely on one another. And it was a match made in heaven.
This episode, to me, solidified the fact that Pedro Pascal was the choice for Joel. There were 2 scenes that made me just like, they were 10 out of 10 scenes for me. Like, as an actor, Like, sell me this scene.
Okay.
His conversation with Tommy about divulging
being
Ellie.
scared.
Divulging about Ellie and how terrified he is,
Yep.
and he doesn't want to let her down, and he literally feels like that is my daughter. Like, the ship is sailed on caring for this girl and not caring for
So you
this
saw
girl.
the next scene when he verbally said, "You're not my daughter, and I'm not your
Well,
father."
that was the scene.
Lies were detected.
That was the second scene where I dare someone not to feel anything in that scene.
Don't say her name.
That was the most compelling scene of the season
Yeah.
so far. That
It's
in the
because it
game
was
is
their
a very
relationship.
iconic conversation.
Oh, so that was a thing?
that I was very looking forward to see, like, how they were going to nail
Okay.
it, and it was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park, and I felt the emotion. It made me want to cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like, you better not leave this girl behind.
He finally found something else to care about, that he cared like his family, like his own.
And he was trying so hard to
Yep.
push her away because he knew he couldn't. If she died again, it would probably break him.
It would.
Because he's lost too many people, and he's done terrible things in his life. The show makes sure to let you know time and time again, Joel used to do shitty things.
I would like to see a little
survive.
bit of that.
And he feels terrible about
Yeah.
it. I don't know if it was from him losing his daughter that just, like, broke him to where he would go down that dark alley.
Yeah, because what
But-
are you living for?
Exactly.
But now, like, he's older. He's obviously not as good as he was because it's been 20 years.
But he
He's
just,
in his 50s.
as Joel, he's just perfect.
Yeah, I couldn't see
just-
anybody better for the two characters to be better.
And
I
their,
love
their
them.
relationship is what makes The Last of Us as
I
a
wanna be
story
part of their group.
perfect.
I wanna be with
And
them.
The show's doing a fantastic job. I am worried a little bit about pacing. There's a lot to get through. And the end of the episode, I'm curious to know what you thought about the university scene.
So I was, okay, if I'm in that town, if I'm Joel and Ellie, I'm not leaving. But anyway, if I'm forced to leave, the town gave me a horse, packaging, everything, whatever I needed. Going to find the Fireflies and I guess ultimately trying to heal the world, which is the greater cause with Ellie. That at the same time bandits show up, I think coincidence is a thing.
That's what I'm asking you about. The interaction. Like the bandits themselves.
I mean, they were aggressive.
Because situationally, they had the vantage point on them where
Yeah.
they saw what they had. You very clearly saw that their weapons, at least what they were showing, were hand-to-hand weapons.
Correct.
So you know that you have line of sight, you have superior weaponry, and I felt that they could have moved through that scene much differently, and it would have ended differently.
Joel's not a killer anymore, at least he has to.
But the show did not do as good of a job to me in that
Okay.
scene than the game did.
I think it was an unnecessary scene. I think it was something to show that, like, hey, Joel got hurt. Now, do I think Joel's going to die? I hope not. Truly. Because Ellie's right. She can't do it without him. She's dead if he's gone.
The game just did a better job in displaying maybe the carnage of the
In
scene.
the game, were you supposed-
the
did you kill them?
They were definitely things you had to fight, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, I think we're going to find some clickers. I think they're due next episode. Because I feel like I'm seeing some waves.
So next episode, we're going to get the backstory of Ellie. That was the DLC to the video
Oh,
game.
so this gives the break while he's healing
That's
or
right.
dying, one or the other.
Whatever happens to him, you're going to find out either at the
At
end
the
of this
end.
episode or the episode 2 weeks from now.
I'm good with that because
So,
there's a lot to Ellie we need to learn.
This is the backstory of Ellie, where she came from.
Bring it on.
It was her upbringing.
Yep.
It was a friend that she had. So I think it was the introduction to the Fireflies. I never played the DLC, so this episode coming up
Gotcha.
is going to be new to me as well.
Ooh,
So I'm
shocked.
excited. So yeah, I want to
Can't
know
wait.
more about Ellie's backstory, and then we only have 2 episodes after that to tell the rest of the season. It's
crazy.
And I'm really hoping they're longer than an hour apiece. I'm really hoping.
2 hours.
If they were
Each?
an hour and a half apiece, I'd be happy.
Okay.
Because there's
I
enough
think
story
they
to
will
tell to where you could tell. Honestly, if they were 2 hours apiece, you'd be like, okay, yep.
Are we going
makes
to get
sense.
another time jump, or is it pretty much where we are?
I don't know, man. I'm not telling you anything.
Okay, fine.
I'm not telling you anything.
Episode 6.
Yep. Come back next week and we'll see you for episode 7. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you like what we're doing around here. And let us know what you guys thought about the episode and the season
Please.
so far.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see you next week.